Backyard Bullion here, coming to you today, as you may recognise, a different table. And that is because I have travelled down to meet a bullion dealer in the UK called Bleyer Bullion. There's a few reasons that we've done that, and one of those reasons is a big reveal which we'll talk a little bit about today, and that is these lovely hand-pulled silver bars which we have made for Bleyer Bullion. But whilst we're here, we thought it would be a very good opportunity to actually meet the dealer, meet the head honcho, the owner of the dealer, of the bullion dealers, Bleyers, which is Caroline. Thank you for having this huge array of very, very nice shiny stuff out on the table. Why don't you just give us a quick overview of what we've got here, what you've managed to get out of your vaults for us to have a look at.
Okay, well we've got the Queen's Beast set.
Yep. Those are proving very popular
these
days.
And the prices of these are going through the roof. I think when a series comes out, you don't really know how it's going to take off.
No.
And the Lunar set, which was out previous to this, hasn't done the same.
No, it hasn't. And
they've changed their strategy since 2013, when they brought the Britannia out in the 24 karat gold, which was the first year of 24 karat gold Britannia. And since then I think they've thought more about what they can market internationally, because other mints like the Perth Mint do it so much better. Yeah,
oh gosh, tell me about it. Perth Mint quality is just synonymous, isn't it? So, but I have to say these are looking good. And do you sell a lot of these? Are these one of your mainstays?
They are very popular in the silver and the gold.
Okay. So, I mean, well, that leads us, I guess, quite neatly into asking what you guys are all about. Obviously, you're a bullion dealer, but what does that actually mean? Like, you're saying here you sell a lot of these, but, you know, tell us what Bleyer's all about.
Well, first came into bullion because it was something I considered personally as an investment, coming out of the property market, and looking for something which holds its value. It doesn't need maintaining.
No.
And since getting into it, discovered that there are also capital gains tax advantages from the UK, you know, buying the UK legal tender coins as well. So it's got a lot that property hasn't got. You know, there's a lot going for it.
So that's kind of what attracted you, because you set up the business yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how did you make that decision to go into that and get started?
It's a bit like having a baby. If you knew how painful it was going to be, you wouldn't bother.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, I can sympathise with that sometimes.
But once you get into it, you have to try and find ways to make money, and the margins are really small.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we were competing with the likes of Bullion by Post, who were downstairs from Umicore. Yeah. So, you know, we were trying to compete with them, and so we had to diversify and offer something different from the big boys.
Talking of Umicore, we've got the lovely 5K bar here. So, I mean, obviously you set it up all on your own. How long have you guys been on the market, so to speak, in existence?
Since 2009.
2009. So, 2009 then, so you started right after the big credit crunch recession job as well, so that's another fun barrier. How was it like starting a business in 2009 then? Did that affect you guys, or was it just business as usual?
I mean, it was really slow for the first few years. You know, we didn't make any money. You know, was eating through savings to keep the business going. It was really difficult. And I think, you know, people see bullion as, it's a way to make a quick buck. Well, it's not. That hasn't been my experience.
No, I've always advocated on my channel, and you long-term viewers out there will know this message, that silver gold is not a get-rich-quick scheme at all.
No.
It is something that is very niche, and as an investment, and whether it even classifies as an investment, I guess is, you know, something to think about as well. But people do view it as an investment, and I guess that's something that, as a dealer, you need to consider in the marketplace. So not just obviously gold. Then, what's the general trade for you guys? What do you sell most of, or what do you sell? But do you sell many big silver bars?
We do quite a lot of. We sell silver bars, not as much as we sell the coins. Gold and silver. At the moment, the trend seems to be buying, you know, a lot of British stuff as well.
Yeah.
But we have people who like to collect different things. Yeah. So, they'll get the latest Spider-Man coin or the Marvel series.
Yeah.
And we try to have a range to cater to most people, whether they're spending £20 or £100,000.
Sure.
We'll look after everybody.
Well, I think we've got a good array of that kind of demonstrated here on the table. I've got this one upside down, but it can be anything from 100-gram bars or even 1 ounce coins, like you said, all the way up to, and this is something very special, a 250-gram gold bar. And I have to say, for those of you out there who've never held a gold bar that's 250 grams, it's well worth trying to get hold of one if you can. And so thank you for organising for me to be able to do that. That's pretty impressive. But that leads me on to, I guess, bars versus coins. I mean, are bars popular? Do you find gold bars to be actually...
It depends who the buyer is.
Sure.
Obviously, if somebody is a tax exile or something, they're not worried about whether it's a bar or a coin.
Yeah.
They want the cheapest.
Yeah. Being a bullion dealer like that, if a customer got in touch with you and said, I want to buy a kilo gold bar, how practical and easy is that to do these days? Is gold that rare that it's hard to come by? Or
not at all.
No.
I mean, I can supply any number of kilo bars.
Yeah.
It's just we don't tend to keep them in stock because it's not a very liquid way to hold gold.
No, I can imagine as well. It takes up quite a lot of the cash flow of a business if you were to have a stock of a number of different gold bars. But I suppose that leads me into a little bit of a question around what makes Bleyer a bit different. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's a really important thing that sets you apart from just a bullion by post, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on how other bullion dealers approach customer relationships, but I came into this business as an investor myself, and I noticed throughout my life that when I've gone to speak to advisors, they can look at you like you're a meal ticket.
Yeah.
And I try to step away from the product when I'm talking to somebody and think about how I would speak to a very good friend and give them the best guidance. We can't give advice, we can't tell people what they should or shouldn't buy or what's going to do well or not. So we'll get people as much information as we can through articles on our website, or just by chatting. If someone wants to know something, then we'll, no question is too stupid. So that's it depends really on the individual's situation.
Sure.
And I always ask people to think about what their exit strategy is.
That's a very good thing, and it's nice, it's refreshing almost to hear that, because I've always said on my channel that exit strategy is so important. I mean, to put it in perspective, we're filming this today on quite an eventful day in the UK around Brexit, and gold prices are moving. It could be anywhere whilst we're filming this. We don't have it live in front of us, so it is an interesting market to say the least. That brings me into another little question, which I've always wondered, because how do you guys manage with the fluctuations in the market like that?
Yeah, I mean, we have to bear in mind fluctuations, especially when we're buying from people. If we buy something that could be sitting around for quite a while because it's a specialist piece, before we sell it, on the face of it, you might think, oh, we're not offering such a good price as it's worth. But we don't know how long it's going to take us to sell.
Sure.
And some of the items that we are selling, we paid more for them when we bought them.
Sure.
But I always try to replace what I've sold in terms of metal. So I keep about the same amount of metal.
Sure.
Or try and build it up.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not for the faint of heart, I can imagine, at all. And it goes both ways, I would imagine. If the spot prices go one way, it can benefit you. If it goes the other way, it doesn't necessarily... I suppose it evens out a little bit across the way, doesn't it?
It can be a bit hairy sometimes when you get a big order for something. Say someone does buy £100,000 worth of gold, but it takes several hours for the money to come through.
Sure.
The prices could move in the meantime. We never like to sort of say to the customer, oh, we can't complete this now because the money didn't come through quickly enough.
Sure.
Although we do have a provision for that, just in case. But we've never had to do that to anyone. And even if I was going to take a small loss, I'd rather not let the customer down.
Sure. That's very noble of you, but obviously you've got a business to run at the end of the day, I suppose, as well. And it's something that I think a lot of customers have asked questions about. I know out on the Silver Forum, so for a lot of you out there on the Silver Forum watching this, there have been questions put about various dealers and cancellation policies around the fluctuations in price metals. And I know that when purchasing metals, there's no guarantee of cancellation like you would have with normal goods that you'd buy from any shop. So it's refreshing to hear that you've got that kind of common sense approach. What's the ethos then around damaged goods? How do you handle those situations if they happen? Have you got any examples of that?
Yeah, I mean, with coins, they're like any other manufactured product. Things happen, especially if you're selling whole tubes.
Yeah.
You can't always check every coin.
No.
And if we're selling a monster box of coins, then we wouldn't even open it.
Yeah.
So if there was a serious problem, then we would deal with it as you would any other item.
Yeah.
So if you received something from us and you weren't happy with the quality of it, we would replace it for a like for like.
Yeah.
Within a reasonable period of time.
So a lot of dealers out there, I mean, I'm generalising a little bit, but there are some dealers out there who will use the phrase, it's just bullion. And that's tough. So if a coin came and it was damaged, they'd be like, well, tough, it's bullion, there's no change, no cancellation. What's your view on that approach?
I don't think that's really fair, because if you were just buying bullion, then you just buy a block of silver or a block of gold.
Yeah.
If we're selling something that isn't in perfect condition, we'll try and say that it's not perfect or it's pre-owned.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee there won't be milk spots, there won't be, on certain things which, are of that pre-owned type. Yeah. But they'll be getting that at a cheaper price in any case.
Yes, yeah.
So, we have got the odd thing that's been returned, and we've got, we'll probably be offering those at a lower price.
Sure, yeah. Okay. In terms of, because that's all fantastic, have you got any control mechanisms or any quality control mechanisms that verify if something's real or not? Because that's obviously a really important thing for customers to know, that what they're buying is in fact what they're buying. And a giant big old lump of 5k silver bar like this, I mean, no one really truly knows whether or not there's a big lead core in it or not. You kind of take it on face value that it's real. How do you guys deal with that side of things? How do you kind of guarantee the quality or the purity of the metals that you're looking to sell?
Well, we are used to dealing with a lot of bars, so we recognise them.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus in our favour, is that we know our products.
Yeah.
And we mainly buy direct from refiners or reputable wholesalers.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to have to put that down. It is awfully heavy to hold in one hand.
And when we're buying from a private individual, we will ask for any proof of purchase.
Yeah.
And, you can often tell by speaking to people whether you trust them or not. And if there is something which we're a bit unsure about, I've got somewhere where I can go and get it tested.
Sure, yeah.
But testing coins, you don't want to damage them in the process.
No, of course.
So you need very expensive X-ray equipment in order to be able to do that.
We brought up an interesting question about customer sales. So we've talked a bit about buying from Bleyer, but selling to Bleyer is something that people can do as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process.
Okay, well, if someone wants to sell to us, they can, if they want to come in person, then I'll arrange to meet them somewhere. And
do you take anything and everything that's precious metal? Like if somebody had, or is it just coins and bars?
We prefer to stick to coins and bars.
Sure.
If it's a customer and they've, sometimes I will take something off them to help them out, and then I'll just send it off for them, because not everybody feels comfortable about sending things in the post.
Yes.
So I'll take the risk for them.
Sure.
And I might not offer them the best price they might get from someone who specialises in scrap.
Sure, yeah.
But I will, certainly handle it for them if...
So, one thing which I know that there's a lot of people out there, certainly on the Silver Forum, will want to know, if somebody came to you with a Queen's Beast 1 ounce gold line, which has got a fairly hefty premium on them right now, would you just pay the gold price, or do you recognise that certain coins have that intrinsic numismatic value above their weight in metal.
We would pay for something like a Queen's Beast, Lion, or any of the first three coins. Really, we would pay a little bit more than the spot price, and the price we'd pay would depend upon how things were in the market.
Oh yeah, of course.
What else we could. How many we had in stock.
Yeah. So this is quickly turning into a very lengthy and very enjoyable interview and conversation. So I think we're going to put a take in here, and we're going to have part 2 coming out tomorrow. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to view that one tomorrow. Put a like on this video as well and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful for everything I do here on my channel. And otherwise, thanks for watching, and please make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.